and I didn't want to go on to a course of medication to reduce my blood pressure. So we got in touch with Rachel to see if we could go through her analysis of my DNA and see if there's anything I could do, particularly focusing on my blood pressure. I'm doing regular blood pressure monitoring, and I saw it drop quite quickly and quite dramatically within a few weeks. I managed now to bring my blood pressure right down, significantly down from the high 130s, low 140s, down to the 120s. So what came back was the result of a list of my DNA assessments, analysis, and one of the things that came up quite high was my tolerance to caffeine. I've always been a big coffee drinker. I love my coffee. And I never had a problem with it. I always thought I could handle my coffee. I never had the jitters, so I thought I was fine. But actually, it turns out I'm quite intolerant to coffee or caffeine, and I metabolize it really slowly. So I ended up cutting the caffeine right down in my diet and replacing caffeine with decaf. But it wasn't just the caffeine. We'd also looked at everything else in my DNA profile. So other things were affecting my blood pressure. And then we also looked at my tolerance to unsaturated fats. So although I'd gone initially to look at just my blood pressure and looking at reducing that, it turns out there were more things we could look at. So I've changed my diet quite, not considerably, but it's had a lot of influence on my diet. I've cut down the pastries because my tolerance of saturated fats was not as good as it should have been. So rather than having 2 or 3, 4 or 5 pastries a week, I've cut them out to 1 or 2 a week. So hopefully this will bring my cholesterol down, which was not high, but on the higher side of normal. Would I recommend it? Definitely. I now have the reassurance. Rachel's analysis of my DNA has given me pointers to where to target. It's also given me confirmation of what I've introduced is going to work for me. Whereas before, I wasn't sure if things were happening. Whereas now, I've got a particular regime to focus on that DNA analysis has given me, and my genetics have shown me what's good, what's bad. And so by taking the process, I've worked out where I can target my diet and my lifestyle to give me a more healthy benefit and hopefully a more prolonged, longer lifespan and a healthier lifespan. So yes, it's definitely been worth doing. And then we'll go back for a reassessment in 6 months' time to make sure everything I've put in place now has an effect in 6 months and continues to be effective. So it was definitely worth it and definitely recommended.